the conditioning. They go over to the A side consistently.
Heaven.
Nice.
Hey, give me plan.
May PS more, boys.
May insok, insok.
Nice.
Kasih gua plan, San.
Over to the third.
Dude, that hit was sick, but it's too bad we couldn't see half of it. The reason why Yoru was playing in spawn was because this guy was launching flashes over site so his team can hit site easier. But, once again, I have zero idea where these things went. But if you look at his utility bar, he did throw them from back here. Now, because they smoke site like this, and Jet and Raze had a dirty double high-low entry combo off Nubox, I'm assuming the flash went into one of these spots to set them up. Thanks, Riot. But even with this initial distance, Yoru was still kind of there for the execute. His decoy should have been a Riot shield for Omen, but maybe he was going to TP into this smoke, but didn't because the decoy straight off to the right, or maybe not because after clearing backside, Jet and Raze pivoted this way to come clear it out with him and their boombot. It's hard to tell, but this Yoru pseudo-initiator game plan seems pretty legit so far. Anywho, the troll comp has taken the site by trading evenly, but Divide gets one by abusing T1's weakness this time. The one agent the defense are missing is a Sentinel, so lurking against a comp like this is going to be super effective. And now with this kill, Paper X's win condition turns into a game of stall. The longer that these two can stay alive and buy Viper time to reposition, the higher chance they're going to win. Now, it's easy for us to see, but T1 have so much to worry about. At any given moment, Viper can move up mid and backstab them during their retake. Or she doesn't have to do anything at all. She can just sit back and regroup with her teammates and be main. It's this constant pressure that's going to close out this round for Paper Rex. So T1 start to scale out of heaven with their op.
To go for this.
But Meunier responds by whipping out a showstopper, not only forcing T1 to back off, but also allowing Divide to safely make his way back into B main. But to the defense, he can be anywhere. Rossi waits for the heaven swing that isn't coming, and after just showing himself in heaven, Saya player repositions into spawn.
Oh, Pilas.
Now it's Saya versus Moniette, the lob in on the paint shells. The zone him out, he's swinging around the back.
Let's go.
Come on, Ja. Come on, Ja.
Man!
Against the half-buy, Paper Rex slammed B again, which, if this comp were to be good at anything, it's this.
Stack push from T1. Everybody just fanned out across the map, playing this one out very patiently.
Man, look how deep this star is.
There's a jump in.
Oh my god.
The timing of the flash, absolutely gorgeous. Extra still able to find Moniette, but Forsaken.
Normally, the reason why teams run double duelist is because it's extremely flexible, allowing you to hit either site relatively easily, get out of chokes quick, and as long as you're proactive on defense, you're fine. But take out your Sky for a Yoru, and your B hits become 100 times stronger, while everything else insanely weaker. But by being able to teleport backside, you create a whole nother area that defenders need to worry about while being chased down by Raze or Jet. Or what Yoru did here was have his gate crash ready to go inside Jet's Cloudburst. I'm telling you, B-side just becomes a nightmare with this comp. Now, because his team didn't have any money and someone needed to make a play, Saya player took a big risk and pushed down mid as soon as the round started, almost winning his team this unlikely thrifty.
That stinger can find value, and it does. Izu also able to find something. There's the showstopper. Doesn't go deep enough. He could have had them both. Izu, that could end up costing him the round because he's not able to find the headshot there with the Guardian. Rossi, however, finds Forsaken. Pushing in, they're both in backside, but Mind Freak.
And now Paper X are headed B again, but this time with the help of a drone. But T1 aren't letting this site fall again. Rossi rips his Viper's Pit, clogging up main, but Forsaken is already up mid.
Brothers over in EMEA as well.
True.
And now on opposing sides.
Yes, you can.
Coming down.
I'm saying yes, you can
A
join
little
me.
too aggressive. Rossi ready for
I'm
that
with my
one.
main
Something
account
does
right
manage
now.
to find the kill, however. Taking him down now, looking to entry down onto the side as the flashes come flying.
Word by
Around the
कोई पूछ लो,
box,
word by भी
actually,
available
Actually,
देखो, देखो।
Moniette coming up with the kill.
Because your result turns him into an invisible,
Can't
invisible
even. Yeah,
drone that
because
can
my
also
mic
flash
wasn't
enemies,
connecting.
Jet was able to
Connected.
quickly, but safely, scale up mid while focused on this smoke. Forsaken then tried pinching main and started pinging Viper's exact position, and Raze naded her, but Yoru barrel stuffed himself into a rifle.
nahin.
And right as Moniette thought that they couldn't make it through this
Like,
noxious
now you
gas,
can,
something backstabbed Rossi, who, because of the Yoru roll,
Abhi आवाज आ
was
रही है,
forced
hello,
out of
hello,
his
hello,
ult. Jet started calling his team back. Lure kill shortly
Okay, my
after.
bad.
Despite not having any reconnaissance, Paper Rex are using what little info they have work. But Divide gets traded, and something tries to get his trade.
Izu managing to stay alive and hold point.
2 versus 2. Armed with another op, Sire player has
ये
to
लो, मैंने कम कर दी।
walking through spawn. But Omen gets an idea.
Holds on to that operator. Mindfreak in the garage.
Cak, gua ke Mimin, Cak. Bisa
Yeah,
fight
yeah,
tembak?
yeah.
Izu makes his presence known
Lu
here.
ada smoke lagi nggak?
Enggak, gua di flank, Cak.
Nading new box.
Cek. After ratu.
Yeah, it's okay. He's shot by.
They were a little short. Yeah.
I caught the timing run.
Main boot कर रहा हूँ. I can't hear you, bro. Main boot मत करो.
Buat gitu.
Don't boot main. Just boot the animal account.
PaperRex stuck to the same game plan as before, stall. Because the op couldn't push through the smoke, Mindfreak was able to use his ult to reposition through B main and make his way up mid and still be able to contest the defuse with this plant. To us, this would look obvious, but again, T1 isn't watching a Teats video. They're playing the game live. Omen could have gone into their spawn, mid, stayed main, or just cancelled it altogether and played some devious mind games.
What?
T1 have slapped out of it, stepping up the defense. Viper had a sick anchor job, punishing PaperRex's poor spacing, and then they finally put a stop to the constant lurking after getting destroyed by it for a few rounds. Then PaperRex had to half-buy and got wrecked by an Astra wall that I'm going to break down in a future video. But in just the blink of an eye, the Three Stooges have their backs up against the wall, facing match point. Their final stand starts in a 2-1-2 default, but that's quickly broken up by T1's three-person B main take. Nade, one-way smoke from Astra, and despite getting blinded, the defense commits to this map control. The offense backs off, heads towards mid, not wanting to run into a majority of the defense and start to group up to go slam A, since B was probably being contested by multiple people. And I think Yoru was setting up a double fake by sending his gate crash and lining up his decoy for main. You know, fake A, then B, then back to A? But it doesn't matter. For the first time this game, T1 pushed past B main and are in enemy territory. After flashing through, Red rips her Seekers. And these stall PaperX is A hit. They think to themselves, Ooga booga, cabbage bad. They tell enemy we hit A. Destroy the cabbages.
Story here. PaperX's positions as they clear this out. Something in a rough spot. Might have to dash across, but he's not given the opportunity. And Madian's going to be taken down simultaneously.
Two of PaperX's
Just look what they are playing. Just look. They are playing a Yoru, दो controller, and मतलब तीन duelist, दो controller. Fuck.
Dash across, but he's not given the opportunity.
The only PaperX can do this shit.
Two of
The only
PaperX's three
PaperX can do
duelists
this
go
shit.
down. And after
No one
seeing
else can
three
do.
defenders push through Mark, Omen uses his ult to clear sight, and they get the spike down. But there's still so much work to do. Someone needs to make a play. Rossi Molly spawned to keep them contained, so Omen teleports into heaven. Yoru flashes for him. No one's there. They're all coming through spawn.
Three city, one more city, side already. The rest inside.
Passing elbow.
Viper there already.
Viper there. Astra there.
Don't see. On this. Nice.
Elbow,
Elbow,
elbow.
elbow.
Together.
Nice.
Oh, let's go. Woo!
Because all of T1 funneled through screens, Mindfreak felt safe to sit heaven and spray down 2 through a smoke.
अबे लाडले T4 से क्या लेना है?
He's the one who got away, and then Sky trickled out while Devi held down the flank. This is why when retaking on split, you can't just go through one choke point. You at the very least need to come out of 2, retaking one piece of the map at a time before collapsing on site. If you don't, you're going to run into some heavy crossfires and lose. So while this aggressive push put T1 in the driver's seat, their retake might have cost them the game.
Retake गंदा था यार.
The game's all tied up, and PaperX are starting on defense. But we're about to see one last saving grace to their comp. T1 are sticking to their game plan we witnessed in the first half. Give Sire player an op, and let him farm. They're taking B main with 4 players, while Viper secures space outside of A, while PaperX start with the bulk of their defense over there as well. But that's changing. Quick. T1 kick overtime off with their paint shells to prevent a B main peek. And if you look closely, PaperX were expecting a ramp take as Yoru started with his back turned playing anti-flash, and maybe his decoy would go out if T1 took ramp. But this nade has ruptured a rotate from the defense. Ray sprints through spawn, and Yoru activates his gate crash. Remember, the defense don't have any reliable ways to get info, so they have to rotate off this noise, or call the offense's bluff. And do you remember how I said this comp needs map control?
क्या आप वीडियो एडिटिंग सीख के इस तरह की डॉक्यूमेंट्रीज बनाना चाहते हो?
Into the smoke, but it's such a heavy stack. There's a flash out. He manages to transfer on a two.
Whoa, भाई क्या crazy
Just
player
like
है
that,
भाई.
Paper Rex have main, the player advantage, and it's all thanks to these two flashes. Covering every bit of space, T1 were not ready for this on-the-fly re-clear of main. And because Yoru can be on either site in the blink of an eye, Paper Rex consistently have players across the map ready to take duels and take space. With these peaks, they can have a solid idea of where the offense is headed, despite not having a sentinel or initiator. Had B main been empty, the defense would have rotated off and stacked elsewhere. And now, I don't care what comp you're playing against. Just, what are you doing now if you're T1?
Because you're Forsaken.
Yeah, only him.
Mind Freak now. Tucked away in backside. Puts himself up onto the box. This is such an aggressive position to take as the smoke dissipates. Forsaken finds a third. Ooh, Carpe! With the operator in hand. I've seen him clutch many a time with a sniper in hand, but this one I think might be a bridge too far, but have I spoken too soon? Seeker's now built up Divine, getting himself over here towards the site. Everything to do, swings aggressively over top of the snake bite. Vulnerable down to 55, something on the corner, and Divine in heaven above him. It seems like such an impossible position, and it is.
Paper X have 3 duelists, it's been a bunch of rounds. I have like 15 more games I want to break down.
कहाँ गए?
Going A. But when you have this much firepower, sometimes taking sight just isn't enough. And T1 are expecting something fast and explosive. Jet's playing backside in an off angle before dashing into a safer spot. These two are playing on ramp, with the Star ready to punish a quick ramp take, while Viper and Raze are ready to combo their snakebite paint shells and deal massive amounts of damage. But Paper Rex are headed straight for the only open gap. Boombot to clear close. Smokes. Dash. Flash. Gate crash. One fish. Two fish. This Dr. Seuss comp has taken sight with barely any effort.
Bro,
And
this
after
guy is
realizing
funny,
no one's
yaar.
here, Paper X have decided that they need to push further. The 3 Musketeers start pushing into spawn, smoking really deep, because Viper ended up using her Poison Orb to smoke Heaven so that Mindfreak could smoke here, knowing that Sire player's been opping. So doing this will cut him off from his team.
Yeah, they
I'm
taking
only out for you guys.
Smoke now apa ya?
Okay, semua.
I got city, don't worry.
They're gonna come, Ron. They're gonna come. Amen, boys. Come clear again.
Jet city
One
open.
city.
City hopping and heaven.
Oh,
Nice.
Come on, rafter.
Nice. City last OP. OP last, chill guys.
After wrapping Heaven, Saya did great to clean up, but this triangle crossfire setup on site was just too strong to punch through. Plus this smoke.
भाई पेपर एक्स पता है क्या खेल रही है? 2 सेंटिनल, 2 स्मोकर, 3 डुअलिस्ट.
And the op decided
वो भी ऐसे ये भाई ये स्प्लिट मैप पे खेल रही है.
to save.
स्प्लिट
It's the last
ठीक
round.
है, स्प्लिट मैप ना क्रेजी मैप है और जीत गए T1 के खिलाफ, जो कि अभी विनर थी, 2024 की फकिंग विनर थी, उसके खिलाफ वो लोग ये ऐसा मैच जीते ब्रो. क्रेजी शिट ब्रो, क्रेजी शिट.
Now, if you want to see this comp epically fail,
Nah.
watch this video here.
बस सेंटिनल छोड़, इनिशिएटर भाई जो इतना जरूरी है इस मैप पे, भाई वो तक नहीं है. मैंने बोला था आपको एनिमल वाले अकाउंट से आ जाओ.
यार तेरी आवाज स्ट्रीम पे बिल्कुल नहीं आ रही थी.
हाँ
यार, मैं
वो
तेरे को
वीडियो
2-3 दिन से
बहुत
बोल
ज्यादा
रहा हूँ.
तेज थी भाई. मेरा मतलब मेरे
अरे
को
वो
बिल्कुल.
बात अलग है, बट तू डेस्कटॉप ऑडियो बहुत ज्यादा रखता है.
हाँ
बहुत ज्यादा रखता है. हाँ, श्योर टेक योर टाइम. विल स्टार्ट इन 15 मिनट्स. आई एम गोइंग टू डू सम वार्म अप एंड डीएम और समथिंग.
एम हो तो, हाँ ये बात तो है ब्रो. एम हो तो गोपेश भाई कुछ भी पता सेंट पीआरएक्स पता है क्या जीती है, क्या कॉम्प लेके जीती है पता है आपको? एग्जैक्ट मुझे मतलब बहुत पुराना मैच है
पीआरएक्स की स्टोरी ऑफ देयर लाइफ है ब्रो. वो हमेशा का है उनका
भाई.
ऐसी फाड़ू से.
अबे दो स्मोकर,
उनकी कोच बहुत सही है वो.
2 स्मोकर 3 डोलिस, 2 स्मोकर 3 डोलिस स्प्लिट ऐसे मैप पे भाई. ना
अरे पेपर एक्स की स्पेशलिटी है. पेपर एक्स इज वेरी गुड विद दिस.